Yo, what's up you guys, it's Mikey Buff 56 here with another video. So today, we're going to be talking about angle grinder safety. Let's get into the video. Okay, so even though I did a funny intro, angle grinder safety is not something to joke about. So, first we're going to just start off this video by saying, be safe no matter what you're doing. So, the main thing is, as you see, I have a welding hood that I actually use as a grinder shield. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit with hats on, but it's very important because it can throw sparks into your face, and that's not pleasant. Don't do it. Just don't risk it, and wear some sort of shield, whether it's a grinder shield or a auto darkening welding hood or even a fixed shield welding hood, because I know that the screen right here, they actually have a if you flip it up, it turns into a grinder shield. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you want a good pair of gloves. Now these are just work gloves, but if you're not going to wear welding gloves like you should, you're better off wearing gloves like these. Because even if you wear gloves like these, they may not be the proper type, but they're better than nothing. So remember that. The next thing that you got to remember is something like this sweatshirt. You want a good sweatshirt that is going to protect you from sparks hitting your chest and upper body. Now, something that's important is I have a drawstring one. So, as you saw, I actually had it tucked in because I was doing some grinding, some angle grinding. Well, these strings, if you're leaning over while using the angle grinder, what can happen is it can actually get caught in the angle grinder, wind up, and pull your face in, which would not be pleasant. Now, if you're lucky enough and the string either breaks or your angle grinder has like a safety thing, I don't even know if they have that, or you're lucky enough that you're able to get to the power switch and just push the angle grinder away from you, you're lucky. Now, the next thing is you want to wear stuff like denim, especially jeans for pants, because denim is something that will actually block out sparks, which is why you see so many welders wearing jeans. It's definitely important. Now, the next thing is you want a good pair of closed-toe shoes. If you have steel-toe boots, even better. These ones are not steel-toe boots, and they work perfectly fine. They not only will... They're definitely not soft, obviously. Like you can see, I'm putting a decent amount of force into them, and they're not bending. That's important. They're not going to stop it, the angle grinder, from tearing it up. But it will definitely slow it down to where you might be able to turn it off. And if you're able to turn it off before it gets too bad, it may actually lock up. Now, another thing you got to remember is, I mentioned before, you want to wear a sweatshirt that's going to stop from the sparks along with some sort of face protection. Sparks, that's a big thing. So, you can actually start a fire if you have something like gasoline or diesel or oil or some sort of flammable liquid, because all you need is heat, fuel, and oxygen for a fire. Now, obviously ignition too, but the sparks are ignition from the angle grinder, the fuel is gasoline, and the air is oxygen. Once you get ignition, it's going to heat up. So that's something to remember. You definitely don't want to use the angle grinder near any flammable liquids, any flammable things like cardboard especially. That's very important. Now, another thing is you got to be aware of your surroundings along with like the sparks and stuff. So those sparks can shoot kind of far, but not horribly far. But if someone is walking or standing there, you want to shoot the sparks the other way, and you'll actually see that in the video that I filmed with using the angle grinder. I aimed it away from the camera because if I aimed it at the camera, my mom filming could have possibly gotten hit by the sparks and could have gotten burned. That's not good. So now the moment you've all been waiting for, is we're going to get to watch me use the angle grinder, and it's pretty cool. So, hope you enjoy this next part. Okay, so I figured I'd end this video with a quick story time because on TikTok people love story times, and I'll end up posting a story time with this, but pretty much we have a storage pod for storing some tools because we're doing some construction on our house. Well, I was keeping my bike pumping there, and I needed it to blow up my bike tires, so I called my dad because I knew he'd definitely know how to get this lock cut because I lost the key. Or someone lost the key. We're pretty sure it was me, but we're not going to talk about that. So, pretty much, I'm like, okay, so I call him asking, hey, how can I get this lock cut? Or what do I need to do to get it off? So, oh yeah, you can cut it using either a hacksaw or a sawzall. Now, I was too impatient for the hacksaw. I found out immediately, so I went to the sawzall, and neither the hacksaw or the sawzall wanted to bite the metal, so because it's smooth, obviously, so there's not much to grab onto. So I just had to chip away until it bit onto something, and I wasn't that patient. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I got this angle grinder, and even though it's not the right disc, I can still do it because it's still gonna cut it. It might affect the disc a little bit, but I'm gonna end up going and buying new discs, probably this weekend, maybe. To get different discs. So, side note though, first of all, that is why this is solid steel that it cut through like nothing. That's why you want to be safe using an angle grinder. But I ended up cutting it later tonight when I was talking to him. He's like, oh hey, how'd you get the lock open? Did you use a sawzall or a hacksaw? And I'm like, oh, I was too impatient for either of those, so I used an angle grinder. He's like, you have an angle grinder? I'm like, oh yeah, I bought it with Prime Day. He's like, oh, if I knew that, I would have told you to use that right away. So then I explained to him, oh, I didn't have the right disc on it, so I didn't want to use it and destroy the disc. I know it's not the worst for the disc, but if I were to use that disc for cutting, first of all, it's going to be a really thick cut, and I'm going to lose a decent amount of metal each cut. But, yeah, he's like, oh, okay. So, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Have a nice night, everyone.